You only code switch when you're not in a position of power. Elon Musk can curse on TV and it's okay. When I was working as a financial advisor in my office, everybody in my office was pretty much older white man. And in the beginning part of like the training, they will make you watch videos of yourself. Like we have like a practice sale. I never really realized that I actually had a New York accent until I actually watched myself speak. Then I started to realize it. And I kind of became a little self-conscious of how I spoke because I know that I didn't have the best diction. I know that, you know, I had an accent and I didn't sound like anybody else in the office. But I realized that what I thought might have been a disadvantage was actually a superpower. And that's actually helped us, is that there's millions of people that actually talk like I talk and relate to how I communicate as opposed to how somebody else communicates. Those people were left out of the conversation for a long period of time. So never run away from who you are, embrace who you are, because that's actually a superpower. Now, you do have to be intelligent, and it is important to have a strong mastery of the language that you speak. It's like you don't wear a jumpsuit to a wedding. You only code switch when you're not in a position of power. Elon Musk can curse on TV and it's okay.
Elon. Wow, Elon is crazy. But nonetheless, I think he's kind of right in that video. Welcome to the Friday edition of Let It Be Known. I am your host, Stacy Brown.
Peace and love, y'all. Y'all know who I am. I think some of y'all, for those of you who don't, I'm Niele. And this is where we bring you the headlines. So we're going to talk about it all. We're going to have a little Feel Good Friday, but of course, remind you why we got to stay on our swivel.
Hey, who are you? You got to remind me who you are. Listen, it's Happy Swag Hoodie Day. RNG is rocking Texas Southern. He says also some people are starting to understand why he left the Democratic Party in 2012. 7 Democrats voted to increase funding for ICE.
Stay on your swivel.
Stay on your swivel. Speaking of staying on your swivel, I saw this. I want your reaction to this, Niele, because I think you're the perfect person to react to this. And I think it was an African woman who posted this line. She said that a man will give up his happiness for a woman, but a woman will give up her man for her happiness. Let it marinate.
No, I think yeah, the today woman,
right?
I think it's that. But an old school woman, she'll do like Teddy Pendergrass, you know. No, not Teddy Pendergrass, but she'll say that relationships are never 50-50. Like that Teddy Pendergrass said. Some days, some people gonna give 40 and the other person gonna give 30. And then another day it could swap. You know,
right.
But so that, you know, so today's woman, I would say I could see us saying that. But a woman that's been married for 50, 60, 70 years, that's what she's going to say. It's never 50-50. Some days you give 70, some days you give 30. And I like that philosophy because then it doesn't set up false expectations.
Okay. I agree 100% on the today's woman part for sure. That's immediately came to my mind. This is this generation. More so than previous generations. Michelle Madison says, She's like Arsenio Hall, things that make you go, That's why I had to bring it up, Michelle. I had to bring it up because I knew Niele was gonna have a perspective there. So anyway, folks, we're gonna have, as Niele always says, we got a lot to talk about this morning and a lot of different things, but we're gonna start in Minneapolis. Nakima Levy-Armstrong was charged. Pam Bondi on Thursday announced the arrest of Nakima in a post on X. It's a new day when everything about this administration gets announced on either X or True Social. But this is, of course, after that Sunday situation, the city's church in St. Paul, where a local official with U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement serves as a pastor. Wasn't immediately clear what the charge or charges that they levied against, no pun intended, Nakima. the Justice Department officials have said that they were considering charging her and others under the Freedom of Access to Clinic Entrances Act, or the FACE Act, which prohibits physically obstructing or using the threat of force to intimidate or interfere with the person seeking reproductive health services or seeking to participate in a service at a house of worship. I mean, they come up with everything. They didn't charge Don Lemon, though, by the way. And Don Lemon is telling them, hey, I'm here.
Yeah, for sure. It was crazy. First off, they arrested the wrong woman, right? They literally went and tackled somebody, took them to the federal building, and was like, oh, we've got the wrong woman. Now, this is according to Nikema Levy's attorney. Okay. And so it's bananas. And yes, Don Lemon didn't get arrested. And I had my thoughts about that yesterday. But I had an opportunity when Nikema was first arrested. I reached out to, I called her phone first, and of course it went straight to voicemail because I was like, oh my gosh. And then I talked to Georgia, and just the distraught in her voice, because at that time there was no ruling about Don Lemon. And so she was like, you know, she told her team, if I get arrested, you got to keep the news going. So Don King not getting arrested actually protects those independent journalists, because if they're not going to arrest him, then they can't arrest Georgia and the Toussaint Morrisons and the on-site medias because they didn't arrest him. So that was a protection for them that I was happy about. But I am concerned because not only did Nikema and those other two, now the William Kelly is the one that was in DC yelling at the ICE agents. Remember, he was in DC. So, and then Chantel Louisa Allen is a part of the Black Lives grassroots movement. And so all of these people, and so it's scary for them right now. And we have to remember that.
Well, it is. And the thing about it, it's a microcosm now of what is really happening. I mean, just for a little briefing. We shouldn't want anyone arrested is what Greer's saying, but just a little briefing of what, in a nutshell, with this ICE stuff. And as RNG already alluded to, some Democrats folding like they fentanyl addicts, voting to give more funds to ICE. You got a sheriff in Maine saying that ICE took one of their foundational Black American corrections recruit and roughed him up and arrested him, claiming he wasn't illegal, even though he had his badge and identification on him, driver's license. They also are using babies, 5-year-olds to be specific, to lure parents into traps. Trump has pulled a Hitler. He erased the exhibits on the people that George Washington enslaved at Independence National Historic Parks, President's House in Philly. The Guardian, which is one of the more trusted mainstream papers, because of course they are based in the UK, is reporting that ICE agents are purposely crushing men's testicles as a form of torture. People are being choked to death and tortured in ICE prison camps. And of course, we don't know what happened to those. We still don't know what happened to those folks at Alcatraz. Alligators probably ate very well, unfortunately. And the Trump-run CBS News was one of the first to report that the White House altered the photo of a foundational Black woman from Minnesota during an arrest to make it look like she was crying. So this is all what's going on in what used to be called America.
That was a lot of things. It's crazy. And speaking of, you kind of touched on it, the National Park Service began removing a slavery memorial at the president's house in Philadelphia. And they started this on Thursday. And it was an exhibit that opened in 2010 and honored the lives of 9 people held there who were enslaved by President George Washington. So the action cam captured the staffers taking down board panels that told the stories of these 9 people held in enslavement. And this is the interesting part. Interior Secretary Doug Burgum ordered disparaging. This was classified from this Trump Klan administration as disparaging materials to be removed from Independence Hall ahead of America's 250th birthday. And this was a directive, of course, from Trump's executive order entitled Restoring Truth and Sanity to America. And see, he signed this back in last March, this executive order. But here we go, seeing in 2026, a lot of the things he did last year, we're going to start seeing even more of the impact this year.
You know, it's amazing. There's a poll that shows that Trump's approval rating among everybody, including Black people, his approval rating is down to almost single digits with Black folks, right? But it's amazing that there are folks who will still, no matter what color, but particularly Black folks, we still see capping for what this people are doing.
Yeah.
And it's just, it boggles the mind that you can look and be okay. Anybody, because even those who are profiting from this, even they have to hold their nose. Some of them, many of them.
Yeah, it is wild that, you know, there are still people that support Trump. It's wild that people still don't vote when they see stuff like this happening. And it's wild. It's getting to a point to where it's wild when people don't speak up, you know, not just, you know, on national issues that you see on your timeline, but just for your neighbor, for what's happening in your community. I mean, I think those three groups, the still Black Trump supporters, the still Black non-voters, and the still Black people who just don't, you know, have anything to say but a scroll. I mean, I think those are our biggest issues as a Black community.
Yeah, you know, the mind is a terrible thing to waste, and these
and a vote, a mind and a vote is a terrible thing to waste.
Well, I'm going to stick with the mind. Y'all can do what y'all want with the vote, but the mind is, and the thing about it is that to sit and see a 5-year-old child handcuffed and dragged in the snow, 5 years old, I don't care what race he is, to say that that's okay, to be okay with that, to see men, particularly Black men, especially when you want to call yourself foundational Black men, to see them get their testicles crushed like it's slavery again. This is how ICE is treating them.
So like how do we change that? How do we change this, Stacy?
Well, listen, you said the people have to rise up. That you know, I don't have a solution for what folks are looking for as far as politically, because both sides, there's no better side in my view. There's no better side. You got racist and hateful people on both sides. You got people who are going to look at those 7 Democrats. They're looking out for themselves. They don't care about you or you. You know, they're looking out for themselves. We know what the Republicans have presented. They, you know, this iteration of the Republican Party is a disgrace to anybody who's ever sat in office. We know that. We know that the other side has been weak. This is why when you get into politics, who was it? 50 Cent said the other day when he was asked about Nicki Minaj, and he said the 2 policies that these people, and not that we like quoting 50 Cent and that he's anything good about this guy, but he said the 2 things you stay away from in this business is politics and religion.
Helen Brown said the city of Philadelphia filed a lawsuit. I did see that. So hopefully we're going to track that story, because that is a cursor for other, you know, museums and federal monuments or historical landmarks that we're going to see, because they're getting ready for this 250th anniversary. And as we can see, they are erasing Black history.
And they're trying to erase Black people, period. Let's face it. This, y'all, you know, people said in the beginning of this ICE stuff, when they appeared to be just going after immigrants. Oh, it's not a Black thing. Yeah, it always has been about you. It's always been about you. They could kill why their immigrants are doing stuff that they want us to do. Remember, Trump said Black jobs. They're taking the Black jobs. They're doing stuff. They're out there working in jobs that many of us don't work in. Some of us will not work in, and they're doing it, and they have been doing it for pennies on the dollar, without a complaint. So it's never been about them, because that's what they want y'all to do. That's what they want you foundational Black Americans to do too. That's what they're about. So you know, the chickens have come home to roost, as Malcolm said. And now we're seeing a foundational Black corrections officer minding his business, doing his job, right? A Black woman. The White House turned her picture. When they handcuffed that Black woman and they let her out into the car, into the halls there, into the justice system, there was no tears. She held her head up high. Back, what they used to say, chin up, right? Back straight. It was like, okay, let's do this. The White House altered that picture to make her seem like she was crying. And White House.
You're talking about Nikema Levy Armstrong now, right?
No, was that Nikema? That wasn't Nikema.
Yeah, that was.
It was Nikema. Come on, and y'all have seen Nikema on this program. You know good and well Nikema would not be going out like a punk. You know that, but the White House wants you to believe that. The White House. Give me a break. And y'all want to pretend this is okay? There's some of you out there pretend. Well, I get the races. This is there, as you said, Niele. Have you been saying this is? You guys are your ancestors' wildest dreams. So I get that. I get you guys. The races on the chat. It's the Black folks that I don't get. It's the Hispanic folk. Look what they're doing. Cuba. We saw Cubans for Trump in 2024. Cubans for Trump. Cubans for Trump. Now Trump is not only kicking every Cuban out of the country, he's planning to go and invade Cuba. How about that? Give me a break. Wake up. Speaking of waking up, whether you are sleeping or not, you're gonna get hit. If you are in the path of this storm that's coming, it's expected to affect 230 million people, according to the latest information from the National Weather Service and AccuWeather. Places like Dallas and Austin, Oklahoma City, Nashville, Atlanta, Charlotte, Washington, D.C., Baltimore, Philadelphia, and the Big Apple, all the way to Boston. Forecasters say the snow could be as much as 23 inches, 2 feet almost. This is huge, Niele.
Yeah, we talked about it last night over at the Shade Room. Our hosts are from Chicago. And so, and speaking to you and Greer on what's happening on the East Coast, it is impacting everybody except California. I'm sorry. We have some clouds in the sky.
You gotta go up to Big Bear to see some snow.
But I'm actually jealous because when I hear everybody like, oh, let me pack up, let me get my stuff. I'm about to Netflix and chill this weekend. There's no. Yep. I'm like, I'm gonna have that experience. We don't get that experience now. Everybody's like, you don't want this experience, but I think it's something to have at least once because the way the reports are happening over 230 million people. Wow.
Listen, when I lived in California, Niele, I did miss. I'm not a fan of the cold, but I did miss that. Although you could have a little fun with your family and friends back east, because I used to do that. I'd be barbecuing, it'd be January, and they bundled up, minus temperatures. I got 85 degrees in the valley, and But I did miss that, and people will say, and well, I won't put words in your mouth, but I'm gonna say what people will say. I wanted to hear what you say about this. People will say, "Well, why don't you go take a vacation to a area like Colorado or wherever where you get all the snow?" Now, why isn't that the greatest option?
Oh, I want to do that. I want to go to Vail. I want to go to where is Sundance? I want to go up to Utah. I do. I just don't. Every time I have the option to take a trip, it's always to beaches and water. But I do want to go to the snow. I do.
Right. Well,
but that's an expensive thing to do, to go to the snow.
Not only
that is expensive.
It is. You mentioned Vail, Colorado. That's expensive, to go up there with the ski resorts and stuff. But I was thinking, Niele, that you simply just want it like the East Coast, right? You want it at your door. You want to see it from your living room.
Yeah.
Like you said, Netflix and chill.
Yeah, and have all your goodies and snacks and maybe a couple of your favorite cocktails, and sit there and just click and cook and, cozy wozy.
Yeah. You mentioned cocktails. I can't help but think about yesterday, Kitchen and Cocktails, Kevin Kelly. Folks, looking forward to March 17th.
But Niele, you're not going to enjoy, after a while, shoveling, having to clean your car.
Oh gosh. Grit had to go ruin it. She had to go warming the car up.
No, I don't think I would want that. No. But yeah, so we're praying for all of you who are experiencing this snowstorm. I know another story was coming out where the NFL games this weekend. So the Broncos versus the Patriots game, which is scheduled for Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern, temperatures will be below freezing for Sunday's game. Okay, below freezing. And then the Seahawks versus the Rams game is set to kick off at 3:30 Pacific Standard Time. In those temperatures, the high should be 45, low 34.
Are they playing in Seattle?
Yeah, they're playing in Seattle. And so
but that one,
it's going to be below freezing for that one.
Well, I'll tell you what, and this is New England's in there, and it would be nice if Buffalo would have won and played at home, only because I love seeing them play when the snow is just blanketing the field, and it used to be a big thing. I used to love it. I still love it when you watch them play with the snow.
Yeah, and see the Rams, when they played the Bears last weekend, it wasn't that much snow, but Chicago was dragging the Rams like they're not cut for this weather. They're gonna, fall. And hey, they prevailed.
They prevailed. Well,
we'll see if they can do it again this weekend. We'll see if they'll do it again.
We'll see. But that Sunday game should be really interesting. How cold and snowy, because New England usually gets it bad too. So as far as the snow. Like Buffalo. Right. Here's one that when I saw this, and I know you saw it, and probably talked about it on the Shade Room, but I saw it, I said, Niele is probably one happy camper with the Oscars today.
Oh, yeah.
The nominees for the 2026 Academy Awards were announced yesterday, and Sinners received a record-breaking 16 nominations, including Best Picture, Director Ryan Coogler's supernatural thriller starring Michael B. Jordan surpassed the previous 14 nomination mark set by the classic All About Eve, Titanic, and La La Land. Ryan Jordan and others were each nominated in their respective directing, writing, and acting categories. And Ryan Coogler said that he didn't have any expectations headed into the award season. He said, and I really appreciate this quote, Niele, that Ryan Coogler said. He said, for me, people just showing up to the movies and having a good time, that would have been enough.
Yeah, I mean, I hope they can pull it off. I mean, Raphael Sadiq got nominated.
How about that?
And it was 14, but 2 of those were for Best Documentary. And then the other one was for Best Documentary Short, which was that documentary. What was it called? The Perfect Neighbor, which was popular on Netflix about racial injustice and social justice. So that was one. If you wanted, hey, all you 230 million people, get your Oscar 14 Black creatives on. One of them, The Perfect Neighbor. And so, yeah, we'll see what happens. And we've seen this before with the Oscars. Oh my gosh, this Black movie got so many awards, and then they walk away with nothing. So hopefully, we got costume, which, we got song, we got best actor. So we'll see what happens, but that's exciting. And I'm also, last but not least, excited for Ryan Coogler's wife, because she deserves a lot of credit, but she likes to stay in the shadows. So congratulations to her as well.
This 16 nominations, which, like I said, beat Titanic, All About Eve, La La Land. 16 nominations. If they don't walk away with at least 2 of the biggest prizes, then Oscar's gonna face another problem. Remember the Oscar So White thing a few years ago? They're gonna face so whoever's doing the voting at the Academy, they have to understand the assignment now. I've never seen Sinners. The supernatural stuff is not for me, but yeah, I've heard you talk about it a lot. I've heard so many others chat about it. I will say 16 nominations, you got to walk away with the big best director, best picture, best actor. You got to walk away with those.
Right.
You got to. RNG, by the way, Niele, just going back a minute, he said there will not be any Bears slander. He says he has to remind you that that's not chic. He said they were cheated. So
Daniela Pierre says, congrats to all the nominees on Oscars and the NAACP Image Awards. Yeah, we actually had the opportunity to talk with the executive producer and NAACP board member last week about those nominees, and we'll continue to talk about those as well. But yeah, so if you want to know and check out the Oscars, it's hosted by Conan O'Brien, and it airs on March 15th at 7 p.m. Eastern on ABC.
Well, there you go, Niele, with all the deets. All right, and turning our attention back to this godforsaken administration. The Equal Employment Opportunity Commission has all but eliminated discrimination and harassment in the workplace. The commission, which is the only federal agency that protects private sector workers' rights to be free from discrimination, yesterday was on the verge of erasing, and I believe they had the votes to erase a guidance document outlining all forms of illegal harassment, which sets the agency back to the 90s. Without the document to refer to, folks, workers will struggle to vindicate their right to be free from harassment, and courts will be deprived of a worker-friendly and up-to-date set of standards for what constitutes harassment and discrimination. So they're telling you now, this administration is saying that there's no such thing as harassment or discrimination in the workplace.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I know the AG over in Miami, he said some stupid shit yesterday. I can't remember what it was. They just say dumb stuff and do such racist. I mean, and it's not even, smart racist stuff. It's just dumb. And it's just why, because at the end of the day, what they're doing impacts their people the most.
Yeah, well, and so that's the whole idea, that concept of cutting off your nose to spite your face, because they never consider.
Say that one again. Say that one again. It's that concept of what?
Cutting off your nose to spite your face, because they don't consider that. The same thing with Snap. And actually, you notice quietly, there's been nothing about Snap anymore, right? They're not messing around, because they realize after they did it and after they hurt their own people, oh, more of our people do this than them. It's so many other things that they can only see tunnel vision. And that's what racism does to a person. That's what hate does. You can't see past that little tunnel, right? And it's so much collateral damage.
Preach.
Oh my God. RG is asking this question, and I'm glad he asked that question, Niele. He said, what is up with white women in tennis? Every time they lose to a black woman, Miss Mayonnaise throws a fit. Naomi Osaka is the latest casualty of winning while black.
Yeah, I saw
Oh
a
my
comment that
God.
Naomi Osaka made. It was funny. I can't remember. But she just
She
kind
did
of like
nothing
passively,
wrong.
was like, her problem, not mine.
It's her problem, not mine. I love that. Yeah. She did nothing wrong. There was nothing going on, right? It was between serves. The girl was not trying to serve anything, and Naomi was trying to pump herself up. After a point, she was like, "Come on," pumping herself up, right? And the girl used that. She complained to the referee, and the referee calmly told her too, "Hey, she ain't do nothing wrong. You was not trying to serve. You wasn't doing anything. If you want to do it, sure, you could do it too."
Right.
And I love how Naomi handled that. That was awesome. Some Friday fun, folks. Before we get back to even more serious stuff, I saw this post that I had to bring it back because I think Niele again is the perfect person to ask this question. Now I have an answer for at least one of them, and it is that it's going to have some folks a little bit mad. But if you could listen to just one Michael Jackson song, or one Beyonce song, or one Prince song for the rest of your life, just one. You can't listen to any other of their music. You have to pick one song. What would it be?
Chad, what do you say? I'm gonna
Chad,
Chad, what do you say?
Okay, you want to go
your
first?
thoughts? No, what are yours?
I was going to give you my thoughts. So for Michael Jackson, the song would probably be, they say one song, and so it would have to. I had a thought. I had to figure it out. Now I thought I had to figure. No, I thought I had to figure it out. I thought I had to figure it out, but then I thought of something else. But maybe Nancy Wall says "Man in the Mirror." RNG says PYT, and it has to be PYT. And I'm gonna tell you why PYT. My wife reminds me of this all the time. So one of our first dates, we went to a wedding at Michael Jackson's house, right? Mm-hmm. And we danced to PYT.
Okay.
So I have to, that's right. So it has to be that.
Sense.
For Prince, for me, it has to be "Forever in My Life," because that's the song I dedicated to my wife during the wedding.
Makes sense. Those are good.
Well, and I'm gonna give you my Beyonce. It's not necessarily Beyonce though. It's Destiny's Child, and it's "Bootylicious."
Oh, okay. Makes sense.
Yeah. Daniela Pierre says Prince, "Diamond and Pearls." Michelle Madison says "Purple Rain." Nancy Wall says "Man in the Mirror." So anybody else? What you got, Nia? Smooth Criminal, Daniela Pierre.
Okay, Prince 1990. Y'all can only pick one Prince song.
Yeah, he did. He picked Orangey picked one Prince and one Michael
Jackson. Okay.
Yeah. And Daniela picked one Prince and one Michael so far. Nancy only picked the Michael song.
I think for Beyonce, that's hard. I think I would pick. So, I mean, no duets, just the individual, right? No duet.
Oh, I picked Destiny's Child.
Okay. So if it was Beyonce, I think I would do "Nice" by her and Jay-Z. If it was Michael Jackson, I think I would do "Off the Wall." That would be my favorite. I could listen to that all the time. And for Prince, I would "Die for You."
Hey, my daughter got married. One of my daughters got married a few years ago, and she chose that as our daddy-daughter song.
Big Cheese said I would choose "Silence." Hilarious. But it since we're talking about music and some current topics.
Wait. RG says I don't listen to Beyonce. I just look at her. She's getting thicker than cold grits. What? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's fine. In some headlines that are trending, Versus is back, right? And so on January 30th, it's going to be producer for producer. So it'll be Hit Boy versus Mike Will Made It. Are you familiar with those producers, Stacy?
No. No.
So they produced for Kendrick Lamar, Alicia Keys, Mary J. Blige, Nas, Beyonce, Rihanna, Travis Scott, everybody. So any current song that you know, they're gonna do. So it's like, you know, who everybody's talking about, what will they bring out? Because so for example, there we have it. So we're doing like Rihanna's Pour It Up versus Sorry, Beyonce. So Mike Will did Pour It Up by Rihanna, and then Hit Boy did Sorry by Beyonce.
Oh.
So, you know, so that would be a good head up. So,
Okay.
you know, Hit Boy produced Mary J. Blige in Renaissance. I mean, Mary J. Blige and Nas, right? He was the one that gave Nas his rebirth. And then Will, you know, he has Kendrick Lamar and Alicia Keys. So it's going to be hit for hit.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I kind of like that. What I like is they're returning to the original concept of verses, because remember, it was Timberland and Swiss going back to back on who had the biggest hits. And that was, you know, that was fun. It was really fun. It was dope. And then you had Babyface. It was Babyface. Who was Babyface?
And Teddy Riley. Teddy Riley. That was a good one.
Yeah, yeah. Because then you get a chance to really hear, like, you know, your favorite hits.
Right.
And so if we're looking at it like that, I don't know who all of the, you know, these guys, I don't know all who they produce.
Oh, they produce everybody.
Right,
I mean,
right.
from Beyonce, Jay-Z.
So that's gonna be, that's gonna be a good battle.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
Is Babyface a better producer than singer?
He's both. I've seen him in concert last year. And
which would he be better at?
I mean, I think he's one of those unique people that you don't have to choose. He's good at both. Because you like his song, you know, when you see him on stage, he's singing Whip Appeal and he's singing all those songs. But then he goes into his writer's bag and he's singing Bobby Brown, Tony Braxton, and every other, you know, song from Waiting to Exhale that he wrote. And so he is just, you know, he is the full package.
Patricia Jackson says his concerts are awesome.
Right. He sits at that piano and plays, but when he goes into his writer's bag and he starts singing those songs, you're like, Babyface is the man.
Well, so here's a good question then. So we talk about total package, right? So I'm gonna put two people out there. So I'm gonna say Babyface because you said him. No, let me, because then these are two different categories. I was gonna put them in the same category, but let me take him out. Okay. Dr. Dre and Kanye. Let's think about that catalog.
I'm going Dre. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm West Coast. I'm going Dre. I'm not even gonna think about it. I mean, Kanye is cold, but I'm going with Dr. Dre.
Even as an artist, because when we talk about catalog, Dre, I get it, but we talk about catalog as a performer and a producer. Kanye beats all of them.
I'm still going with Dre. Dre Day, all day. Dre Day, all day.
You know, you're just so, you know, you're so partial. You got
Michelle Madison said Dr. Dre too.
And Patricia Jackson said Babyface's bag is overflowing.
Right. And one of the ones we were always talking about, we wanted to see, and they kept teasing it, was the Jermaine Dupri and Diddy.
Yeah.
That was the one that everybody
that's on hold for a couple of years.
See. Now, who do you have for that one, Stacy and Greer? Who do you have for Diddy and Jermaine? Who you got?
So I think because you got in that catalog, Diddy's catalog, you got people like Biggie and Shine and all those other folks. I think even Mary J. Blige is a Diddy person.
Yeah,
right?
I'm gonna have to go with Diddy.
Yeah, I have to.
Even though it's a lot of people in recent years have come out and shared that Diddy, like, you know, he is. Listen, he's
not really the producer.
Right. But you know, hey,
no Diddy.
Hey,
Right. And you know, Mary J. Blige has been in the headlines for the past 2 weeks talking
Yeah.
about this residency. And so the question came up to her about verses literally this week. And you know, she's always been kind of cocky about it. So she said, I'm just gonna say 411 and walk away. So the question is, so I was like, well, who could go against Mary? And I thought Mariah Carey. So who would you pick between Mary and Mariah Carey?
Oh, I'm not a Mariah Carey fan, so and I'm
It's
not a
not
Mary
about
J
Mariah
fan.
Carey
Okay.
fan, but if we're going, I don't see those two together because
Yeah.
Mary is a stylist in a different kind of way. Like you gotta just love that Banji girl, like it's all of that, right?
Yeah.
And even though she's got a range of music, I got all of her records. I'm a Mary J fan from straight, from way back. I can't say that I think that Mariah Carey is she had a phenomenal voice. I don't know how well her voice is, how good it's
But
today.
we're talking about hits. We're not talking about style.
Yeah, I'm
We're
not
talking
really
about
okay.
chart
I'm not. I
topping,
was never.
hit
I
for
was
hit.
never. Yeah, I was never. For me, the only time that Mariah worked for me is when she was doing collaborations with hip hop or some R&B, something like that.
That's what I'm saying. Hit
Yeah,
for
that's true.
hit.
That's
Hit
true.
for hit. Those two can go blow for blow.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you're just comparing chart topping songs that were just hits, to me, I'm thinking like, you could say Faith Evans and Mary J, but Faith doesn't have the catalog.
No.
I'm talking about somebody that has the catalog that could go hit for hit with Mary J. Blige.
That's true. And in that case, Mary wins, in my opinion. Mary wins that one.
Okay. See.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
Well, how about Mike V says Diddy versus Suge Knight, stranded on death row is what he would call it. And Patricia says go old school, Charlie Wilson and Jeffrey Osborne.
Charlie Wilson. No question.
Of course, she would say that. She partial again.
Charlie Wilson. I mean, only because Charlie Wilson has had a rebirth and he has current hits. Jeffrey Osborne just had "If You Woo Woo Woo."
Well, he's
Have you ever seen him in concert do the woo woo? Oh my God, it is an experience. It is like it's call and response. It's crowd participation. When he does the woo 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 song, it just shuts everything down. But what we got past that, Charlie Wilson got hit for hit for hit.
That's true. Now Charlie is definitely that. Let me just tell Mike V, yes, anything that Mobb Deep was on, that's me. I'm with it. You know what I mean? But that's my point. For Mariah, unless she had those collaborations, it really wasn't for me. I'm not. It's just not.
Okay. So let's say Mariah and Janet.
Janet, let's keep it real. Janet was a performer. If we're talking about, I'm serious. She was a performer.
She has no vocals. She has no
vocals. You can't. She's not even in the category. You know what I mean? She comes from and she gave the best shows, and we loved all her songs. I mean, but if she was writing them, then it would have been something different. But it wasn't her. She had hit makers.
Right.
You know what I mean? If I had a hit maker, hey, listen, I wouldn't be on this thing with you right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And see, this is why Versus is a cultural phenomenon because it lets you celebrate music in a special way. So that is January 30th. You can watch it on Apple Music. And then don't forget, next Sunday is the Grammys. And we'll be talking about that more next week.
Okay. All right. So what's happening with TikTok, Niele?
TikTok is ticking and it is talking and it is ticking its way over into the hands of the United States. TikTok is staying in America, but it has a big change, y'all. The company has finalized the deal to create a new American version of the app, and it's going to be called TikTok USA. Now, the new USA version will include stronger protections for American data users. What does that mean? Tighter security around the algorithm. Oh gosh. And US-based oversight. The government has gotten involved for content moderation and software systems.
It's Elon. Elon got
It's
everybody's
over.
info.
No. Elon is not a part of this. This is Trump's other friends. We're talking about Larry Ellison from Orpho. This is the CBS Fox clan, friends of Donald Trump. So Elon Musk don't have nothing to do with this, and neither does Mark Zuckerberg. This is all Larry Ellison wanting, and all of these older white men, like over 65, 70, wanting to get their hands on this Zuckerberg technology and this Google technology that they really don't know nothing about, but they want some of it because it makes a lot of money. And so be prepared, folks. The algorithm, information that we're getting from Israel, because Larry Ellison is a huge Netanyahu Israeli supporter. Suppression of information about what's happening in our streets here. So TikTok is about to change.
Oh gosh. Mike V says TikTok USA sharing user information with ICE for easier kidnapping of Americans.
I mean, all of that. So
I've been looking forward to you getting into this one, the whole Genie Bus drama.
Oh, well,
I've been looking forward to it.
It's layers to this conversation because of course, you've seen the headlines with LeBron James and Jeannie Buss. And it's really centered around her family drama. So basically she did this acquisition, she cut her brothers off, and then she, got this $10 million sale for the Lakers. So now people are saying that her brothers, side dropped this information, apparently from depositions or conversations that were on record back in 2020 with Jeannie Buss basically saying she didn't feel like LeBron was grateful enough for her signing his son. Which is horrible to say, which means it wasn't the talent, it was a favor.
And we all knew that, but to hear it come out the horse's mouth.
Yeah, and she just felt like, LeBron is just not grateful enough. And he has this cocky attitude.
Well, how was he supposed to show he was grateful?
Well, no, she's basing it upon Kobe, Magic Johnson. So it's not about being appreciative to her. It's just your attitude.
Okay.
So she has had top tier players on the Lakers, like I said, from Kobe Bryant,
of course,
to
the
Magic
Lakers
Johnson,
are always right.
So that's what she's speaking about. There's this arrogance about him that she just, and it's not enough about the game. Kobe was arrogant, but it was all about the game.
Okay.
LeBron,
I was going to ask about that.
LeBron, his son, then you got the Rich Paul factor that we're going to get into. All of these things, and it's different if you're getting rings. She's not getting no rings. Her record is tanking, and yet she's doing all of this to appease you, and I get nothing in return, not even a thank you.
Okay, but here's the thing, and Nancy Wall, this is where I was kind of going with it. Not necessarily me per se, but I think people will go this way. The Lakers made history in doing that. She says white people want you to bow down and kiss their feet. Now we can say I'm not a LeBron. I will not stand here and defend LeBron.
You are a nobody fan,
right?
Stacy, no.
Right? No, but I'm not going to criticize him. If I was in, and I said it then, and I'll say it again, I'll always say it. If I was in his position and my son wanted to get into the NBA and he didn't have the talent, I would do what LeBron did. I'd stand 10 toes down on that. I would do what LeBron did, and I think LeBron earned that right, because as much as Jeannie Buss has her complaints about his attitude or whatever, she was still cashing large checks because of LeBron James.
But here's the thing. It's not about, I don't think this is like a feeling of kissing feet, because she's dealt with a lot of arrogant players. She was there from when her daddy bought the Lakers. Okay. So she has seen it all, experienced it all, but they don't have a problem with it if you win it. Okay. If you win it, if LeBron, if she would have did that and LeBron carried that team and the team was winning, the morale was up, then it would be no problem. But it's another thing when I'm doing all this for you. It's transactional, boo. It's transactional. I'm sorry.
And as I said,
I'm riding with Jeannie on this one.
I'm not,
need
because
for
it's
you to
transactional
be
in
a
that the
winner.
Lakers are selling out every game. The Lakers are selling
It's
LeBron
around in
jerseys.
LA. And people, the Lakers,
No,
the Laker
but-
fans have never been so divided about this situation.
About
it's
the
horrible. It's
Yeah.
horrible.
I just think that she's out of pocket though. If she wants to, you know,
She's
I mean,
not
that
out
was
of pocket.
it was a
LeBron and Chris Paul. Go ahead. I'm gonna let you so I can get into the
no,
Chris Paul portion.
yeah,
of
so you can get the Chris Paul. But I think that there's no surprise whatsoever about LeBron being arrogant, right? You know, unfortunately, with greatness comes that type of arrogance, right? You know, let's not be fooled.
Kobe was arrogant and
well, let's not be fooled. LeBron has won now. He hasn't won as much as perhaps Laker fans wanted him to win, but
don't come to the Lakers and be a loser. Take them back to
see at the same time. See, that's the problem right there. The expectations. You can't. Look, Kobe didn't win every year. Neither did Magic. They didn't win every year. LeBron won a championship with the Lakers. He bought
in the bubble. In the bubble. The bubble.
I agree with you
count.
on that. It doesn't count. Okay.
No.
Okay.
The bubble doesn't count.
But she hang that banner though. Homegirl hung that banner up there at Staples Center, right? So it counts for something. But what I'm saying is that don't be fooled. Kobe, no matter who they are, if you're that great, you're gonna be arrogant.
You know, but the thing about it is, it goes back to people are allowed to say, you know, she didn't say make these terms publicly, right? So
Right.
this is why I'm saying
right.
this is what I'm saying about it's not about a race thing. This is just about a business thing. These were not comments that she ever expected to be made public. This is something that, you know, she feels. She apologized to LeBron saying that I hate that, you know, this has to come, you know, at the expense of family drama, because that's what it was. They leaked the information to cause issues for her.
Yeah.
But what do you think happens in these rooms when these owners and the general managers and the coaches are talking about what can we do to make the team better? Who are our problems? Those are fair conversations for her to have. She just never expected for them to be public. And Chris Paul, Chris Paul even doubled down on that. And he was like, there were probably conversations had. He said, who gives a F? Because him and LeBron have the same conversations, but
there's no question. You're right. I'm not saying in any way that Jeannie, this was done with hatred or racism or whatever. It was a private conversation, like you said, and it wasn't her fault that it got leaked. And they say everything. Believe me, I'm pretty sure that's why they kicked the one of the Clipper owners out a few years ago. He had made him sell the team. All that stuff with the racism and everything. That was a good show on Hulu too. It's called Clippers. That was good. Oh my gosh! But I don't think. At least I don't know Jeannie Buss. I don't know the Buss family. But I don't. I never felt like this came off as somebody being racist or anything. I just thought that her saying that he doesn't show any appreciation is misguided. Right. No, I don't think it was misguided. And a lot of people, I feel like, you know, I know you said you would have did the same for the son, but look at how his son is being dragged by all the podcasters and sports commentators because he's just not that good. Why would you all the millions of dollars? Why would you want to put your son in a league and you know he's not ready? You've been doing this for over 20 years. With the millions of dollars, to me, you can drag me all you want. You can drag me all you want. You know, it's one thing to be broken dragged. But the question is that what his son wanted? Is that what LeBron wanted, or is that what the son wanted? Oh, I'm pretty sure his son probably wanted that as well. I mean, he's gotten some commercials out of it too. He's making money. I really listen. I understand. There's that point of you don't want to be embarrassed and all, but folks, for $5.5 million a year, whatever LeBron Jr., Bronny James makes. Drag me all you want. I'll take some embarrassment.
So let's talk about the Chris Paul factor. So Chris Paul now has a podcast. And a lot of the sports and NBA industry are kind of looking side at him. Because he was discussing on his show trading Austin Rivers and or Luka on his podcast called Game Over. Now, Austin responded this week saying, and I quote, "Why do you have a podcast anyway? You're not an effing player. I don't know any other agent sitting there on a podcast talking trades. Please, everything you say is going to be a representation of LeBron."
Yep. He's 100% right. And any other client he might have, I just think that's everybody's got a podcast today. Everybody's got it. But I think it's a horrible idea for an active player's agent to be not only be on the podcast,
right?
To be on the but talking about trades. That is, the NBA needs to step in.
But like Austin said, it's a reflection of LeBron. LeBron is clutch. You can't get around it.
Oh, I know.
Clutch, Chris Paul, they hand in hand like this. And so that's what, when you go back to Jeannie Buss saying, ungrateful, I think that just Bronny was the tipping point of just his overall behavior and how him and Rich Paul are handling certain situations. And this is an example of it.
Yeah, he's Rich Paul is used to having his way because his biggest client has been for the past 2 decades, LeBron James.
And I'm just gonna say it. He looked like he got Napoleon complex there. Okay? I said it.
You had to say it.
I had to say it.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's just a horrible look for.
It's a horrible situation for the Lakers. You know what I mean? And then we talked about
you can't have an agent on a podcast he's the host of the podcast, I gather, or one of the hosts, right?
It's his podcast.
It's his
Game.
podcast.
Yeah, game is over for real.
And talking trade, you
trades.
Can't do that. That should be against whatever bylaws or whatever the NBA has. I have never seen that. You see player agents become team general managers and presidents or whatever. I know things have changed when it comes to agents now. I mean, the Knicks president is a former agent. But look, you can't be on podcasts talking on your podcast talking trades.
That's what I was talking about earlier. Matt Barnes was talking about on All the Smoke. He was like, "That's wild." It's unbelievable. And so I think that is an example of it's not about Bronny, it is just about the way they are moving. And I get it, but it is just not healthy for an organization. And you see what's happening with the Lakers, from family drama with Jeannie to player drama with LeBron. You see what's happening with the All-Star game. He wasn't voted to be a player.
He didn't deserve it. But here's the thing, too, Niele. A break here or there, the Lakers could win the championship this year.
Okay, well, we'll see.
No, they're not. But I'm saying, if they get a break here or there, like if something happens in Oklahoma City or San Antonio, they have a chance to win the title.
Well, everybody has a chance to win as long as they play.
No, that's not true at all.
I mean, and as long as they qualify, but everybody is a contender, but to say,
I'm saying, injuries happen, that's the most important thing. Injuries happen, and it could happen, they could be in the playoffs, right? And going against perhaps Oklahoma or San Antonio, one of those two teams without injuries factoring in, they will come out of the West for sure. But they could somebody important or a couple of somebodies could get hurt.
Right. But well, anything can happen. There was a movie called Any Given Sunday, so I mean, we'll see. But the odds are against them.
Oh, the odds are against them. Yeah, for
And
sure.
we're talking about like the All-Star game and him not being selected. Then he said if he's selected for the bench, he doesn't plan on playing. He's going to make an appearance. You have a retired basketball player saying that LeBron messed up the All-Star game. And then the biggest, embarrassment he should feel, because this would never happen to Kobe or Magic or any of our other primetime players. It's in his hometown. The NBA All-Star is in LA next month. And you mean to tell me our biggest name in sports didn't make the bench? I mean, the bench. Forget the starting. Boy,
and again, I think all those players who do stuff like that, and in this case, LeBron is, they should be required to suit up for. Like I said, it's an exhibition game, so suit up for at least 5 minutes or whatever.
Yeah.
Give the fans 2-3 minutes. That shows ungratefulness toward the fans.
Yeah,
but my point,
I like LeBron. I like from a business standpoint. I've loved how he has taken his career, but I think he's just in this moment now where he's feeling himself and Chris Paul, and they are not. It's not healthy for the overall game.
Right, and that's what that was my point about talking when I said that a break here or there, they could win a championship, but you got all of this. You got all of this distraction.
Right.
You can't. It's just distractions. Any team will tell you, and you can go back decades, centuries. You can go back to Magic's team, to Dr. J's team. They will tell you, too many distractions. No matter what the talent is on that bench, you're not going to win.
Right. All right. So we'll see, and feel bad for the guys in the locker room, because Luka's in that locker room, isn't Austin in that locker room? And to hear Chris Paul saying stuff like that, he's having those conversations with LeBron. It's just an uncomfortable situation and unnecessary. But speaking of NBA, Charles Barkley, who's somebody who has been critical of LeBron as well, is disappointed with ESPN. Now, he recently appeared on the podcast and talked about how he wished the iconic show that he and Shaq and the other two gentlemen hosted had more airtime on ESPN. Now, remember, they had the show. What was the show called? Something
Inside the NBA.
Inside the NBA on TNT. And then TNT lost the contract. So now you have basketball games, not just on regular TV, but on streaming platforms. So it's like, where do they go? They go to ESPN, but the show is not a weekly. So he said they've had just a few appearances. He said they only had one show in December versus nearly weekly shows last year on TNT. So he is now speaking out. Okay, we've only
he's
had
always speaking of. Shut your mouth, Charles. Go back to Alabama and sit down. Go. Nobody wants. Maybe they don't want to hear from you. It's about time somebody
that
says
show. A lot of people love that.
Oh, I know
show.
they love that show. I know a lot of people. They got. People,
so that's what he's talking
But
about.
I'm just saying that, like, stop.
It's not just him. It's not just him. It's a team. And what he's saying is that
move over and make some space for somebody else. That's all. I mean, I'm not. What I'm saying, Niele, is that Barkley, you get enough attention as it is. He's obviously taking the lead as the spokesperson on this matter. So I'm going after him. You've done enough. You've said enough. Go somewhere else. Go to Alabama, run for governor, like you said you wanted to do anyway. Just hush. I'm tired of Charles Barkley. Kenny Smith, I like. True. Shaq I can deal with. Charlie. But I get what you're saying. You're right. You're 100% right. They got great ratings. People love that show. So give the people what they want, I guess.
Well, we'll see what happens. He's spoken out. It's out there now. Everybody's on the podcast telling us how they really feel. So we'll see if ESPN gives them some more dates as we approach the playoffs. We'll see.
But you know, Niele, it's a different era too. I'm not talking about Barkley in this instant, but we was talking about LeBron and with social media and all of that. And these players, I saw yesterday a Knicks player who is on the trading block indicate that he had been traded. He's not been traded as of yet anyway, but on X, and his teammate, one of his teammates tweeted back at him, "What's going on, big dog?" You know, they get out of control here. This guy, he gave this whole speech. Yabusele is his name, Gershon Yabusele, who gave this. He's had a horrible year, and he gave this statement. Oh yeah, I'm still ready to go to war. Whatever comes next tomorrow, we'll see what's going to happen tomorrow with whatever they decide tomorrow, as if something is coming down the pipe tomorrow. Now, tomorrow, the Knicks are in Philadelphia. Yabusele's former team is the Philadelphia 76ers. So perhaps this was him overstating his return to Philadelphia, but even his own teammates on social media is questioning what's going on here. Why are you saying these things? And it just so happens that the teammate who questioned him on social media is a teammate, Mitch Robinson, who continues to put his business on social media. Somebody told him that he had small penis complex, and he goes to answer and says that, oh, you really want to know how big this thing is? And he's going on describing his penis. It's like, what are y'all doing? You guys are making 12, 15, 30 million a year, and you are bothered by some fan that's actually giving you money. You're bothered by some fan who don't play the sport, you know, saying something to you. Are you kidding me? That's the other thing that these athletes don't have today, that Kobe had, that Magic had, and Doc. And that is thick skin. They don't have that today. Barkley is from that era, but you know, I guess for a broadcaster, he's kind of soft. Take it on the chin, Charlie, and the rest of LeBron. Maybe Jeannie Point. Maybe as we talk, Jeannie Buss does have a point. So, I done talked myself into agreeing with you now. Oh my gosh! All right. Anyway,
Take it on the chin, Paul.
She don't miss nothing. You know, these Brooklyn people, I tell you. The Root has listed Black celebrities and top Black figures whom they said have disappointed the community. They opened up a can of interesting worms with a sweeping list of these folks who, through words, actions, or political alignments, has, in their view, disappointed the Black community. They mentioned people like Kanye West, Nicki Minaj, Drake, and others. Michael Jordan's on that list. Keke Palmer is on that list. And Snoop Dogg. Why is Keke Palmer on that list?
Oh, I don't know.
What did she do? What did Keke do?
I don't know.
I only got one question for Keke. Keke, do you love me? I mean, I don't understand. I don't know. I was reading it, but I didn't see what Keke did that disappointed Black folks. I think that they picked too much on her personal life that she made, you know, that she made public, like the thing with the baby daddy and stuff. But that was more him than her, right? And I think that, I mean, how does that disappoint us?
Well, they're saying what it says in the article is that it says Keke, she's pushing it. Palmer has been facing backlash for recently collaborating with Black celebrities facing shocking abuse allegations.
Oh, Jonathan,
Luke
Majors.
Hayes, Jonathan Majors.
Yeah, Jonathan.
You know.
But she didn't air the podcast. Everybody bullied her and punked her into saying, no, I'm not gonna do it.
That's what they saying. You know, Drake, of course, we know Drake.
Well,
He had it coming.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know.
he just filed again against Kendrick. He lost, and yesterday
Yeah.
he filed more paperwork.
again?
And then he said he's naming his album Iceman after all the ice situations that are happening. He is just turning out to be a lame duck
Oh my
and not
God.
knowing how to read the room.
Oh gosh, you got that right. Say
Well,
it
he's
again.
not foundational black, so there you go.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Oh my God, I didn't
That's
know that.
hilarious, Greer.
Oh shoot. So he
Yeah,
he's naming it after ice, huh?
he said he's Iceman, after, everything that's in essence of what everything, in
He's not even
response to
American.
what everything that's going on.
He's Toronto guy. He's
So
okay.
when I tell you, that article, we don't need to be looking up to none of these people anyway. Not no Nicki Minaj. I don't know why LeBron is on that list. I mean,
Did they say LeBron was on that list? I don't
well,
think
his
they said
picture
Michael
when
Jordan.
Greer showed
Oh,
the
LeBron
article.
is on that list. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, I'm not sure of that either.
Yeah, that's a wild list, and it's weird.
I guess you got to read it, folks. The root, it's black owned again, so you gotta read it. All right, you want some Black History facts?
Go for it.
All right. On this date in 1891, pioneer and Black surgeon Dr. Daniel Hale Williams helped found Providence Hospital in Chicago. The hospital became one of the main teaching and training facilities for Black doctors and nurses who had frequently been denied entrance to white-owned medical facilities. It was also at Providence in 1893 that Dr. Williams achieved international fame by becoming the first American surgeon to perform open heart surgery.
Wow,
so that's serious Black history right there.
That is super cool. Love it. Love it. And we were talking about the snowstorm and binge watching. So this is something y'all might want to binge watch. In 1977, the original Roots miniseries first aired, starting today on ABC, and it ran through January 23rd for 8 consecutive nights.
Wow.
To January 30th. Now, it became a massive cultural phenomenon, as we all know, and one of the most watched television events in the U.S. history, followed by its sequels in 1979 and 1988.
I remember when Roots came out and when it was coming on, it was such an event. I remember them talking about it in school, it became a classroom conversation.
Yep.
It really was. And I can't think as I think back of any time in history where there was such a story being told about slavery on television, first of all, right? It just didn't happen. You know what I mean? And this was during the days when it was a big deal. When Diane Carroll said bitch or she showed up on Dynasty.
Which I'm currently watching.
She's currently watching.
But I mean, even saying, the word bitch, she said, but it was like, it was such a time.
Yeah.
Well, too, I'm sorry, Niele, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Too, Roots, so it debuted in 1977, right? It was only, we was just still dealing with a lot of stuff. The death of King was only, 8 years earlier or something like that, right? The Black Panthers were a thing. You had COINTELPRO, you had all this stuff going on. And then you get this story, like Greer said, it was the most anticipated. At that point, it was the most anticipated and most watched in the history of television. This series, it was on every night, I think for 5 nights or whatever it was.
8 consecutive nights.
8 consecutive nights, and it was the first time in my. How old was I? I mean, look, I get.
Listen, it was the first time that years older than me.
It was the first time after when Roots was airing, when I went outside and a white person called me nigger.
Really?
Yeah, that's the first
that you
time
remember.
That I remember, yes.
That you remember.
Right. That I know about.
But as I think back to that time, I was just a kid, but I felt older for some reason because we were having these conversations. Just think about it. The violence that was seen in this movie, the fact that it was even being shown, it was such a big deal, right? Yeah. But that you would be just a kid, 7, 8 years old.
9 years old.
Right, talking about, like I said,
Yeah, I was only
younger.
4, so
Yeah,
I
was
didn't catch
younger.
on
Just a
till
baby, right?
I was just a
She
baby.
was a baby.
So I
She was
didn't
really a
catch
baby.
on till a little later. But I loved Queen. That was my favorite. Now, Queen,
I enjoyed
I was
that
of
too.
age when Queen came on. Halle Berry played Queen, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, she
Yeah.
did.
Now I remember that one. I was good for that one, and that one was good as well. Mm-hmm.
Well,
it
RNG,
was
since the Roots were to air today, Trump would sue the network that aired the movie.
Yep. Yeah.
Listen, you go ahead.
Listen, it would and listen, and all the violence and trauma that we've seen, and like that's really light. So he would go off of the violence that we saw there. I mean, seeing a Black person whipped. That was major.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was such seeing a Black person whipped and having to say massa and somebody running and and is getting his foot cut off. Just think about what that was back in that time. But we've seen in movies and television now. It's way more. The violence is just on next level. That we're so desensitized. You had to. Nobody would walk out of the room today watching Roots and this man getting his foot cut off or whooped, right? Mm-hmm. Nobody would do that because the violence is just so. But so I'm just thinking about that. Like this was like analog,
right? But when here I go with my Black pride. Systemically, the way the stories were told, that we were a hopeless people, right? And even though the story, it was important to be told, it was told through a story of oppression and like we had no power, right? That's how we grew up seeing slave stories where we had no power. Then you have the underground, baby. So where that is what they did. They could green like that, but you could never get an underground greenlit during that time because the story showed the power and the ones that ran and didn't say yes, Amasa. She said, Noah, we got to run now. Yeah. And it was just like, whoa. Or even Nat Turner, The Birth of a Nation. Look at how they did. They do not want those stories of us being in charge and taking ownership of our destiny. They do not want that story to be told.
Right. Yeah, that, again, it was quite the time. Roots will always, it's one of the reasons why, like you said, you mentioned underground, and you're right, they would not allow it, but this underground really is what we needed instead of Roots. It's no shade against Alex Haley and his story at all. I mean, what a horrific story. But in hindsight, I wish we'd have had underground instead of Roots. that was not hard.
That underground would have never happened during that time because to Niele's point, it's something we say all the time. Black America profits off of seeing Black people in trauma and on the losing end begging and that's when dudes were saying, I could have never been a slave, man. That's what I'm saying, brother, I could have never been a slave. If I was a slave, Yeah,
it's but Roots still, like I say, it's a good binge watch this weekend. If you're snowed in. Another one is Sarah. I don't know if you guys saw Sarah. It's on Tubi. Yeah, it's a lot of good slavery movies on Tubi.
Oh, did you see it's not a slavery movie, I thought it was, but the one we talked about before was it Sarah's Oil?
Oh, it's on Prime now. You know what? I might go and support it and buy it this weekend because it's now on Prime.
Yeah,
it's now on Prime.
Yeah. The Alabama Brawl is on Tubi now, RNG says. So we had our homeboy. Yeah. So there you go. Wow. Well, folks, make sure you, if you're in the eye of the storm, bundle up, buckle up, and don't go to the store and buy the whole store and stock up for a month. It's only gonna last a couple of days.
It's too late.
Right.
I was at the stores yesterday. There was nothing on the shelves.
Nothing.
Not even
Right.
Costco's.
Oh my God.
Oh God, Costco.
I was like, is there an apocalypse that I didn't hear about? And I said, oh, well, I'll go to my last stop. I said, I'll go to Whole Foods. Surely there'll be food there because it's too expensive. No eggs, no
I might go to
meat,
Whole Foods
nothing.
today. I might go to.
God.
But I had told you guys about that Liberian movie with Vivica Fox about the classism. It's called Providence Island. It was from 2017. Providence Island, about the American slaves going back to Liberia. That was a good one. Providence Island is on Tubi. That's it.
There you go. All right.
All right. So you guys check out before you get to Orange G. You guys, all of the news, support Black Press. Support Black Press USA. The Black Press needs you. The Black papers need you. The publishers need you. But most importantly, it provides the news, views, and opinions that you need. That's BlackPressUSA.com.
He said they got people fighting over generators down where he's at. Yeah, I would imagine so. That's the other thing. Gosh. Well, be safe out there. Whatever you do, do it safely and stay warm and stay safe.
Have a good weekend, y'all.